People probably don't believe it, right? They don't believe it. Oh, we're far away, right? No, you're not. Iran is developing now ballistic missiles that are intercontinental ballistic missiles for 8,000 kilometer
Dude,
range.
I thought you handled this, Satan. Didn't you do the 12-day war? Bingo, bango, bongo. Done deal. You're still trying to sell us another war with Iran?
What does that mean? They add another 3,000 kilometers, and they've got under their atomic guns, in New York City, in Target.
Oh my God! Look, he's like, look, yes. The implicit admission here is that they don't have the capability to strike New York. He's like, oh, these Americans, they think Iran's so far away. What do you know? Iran is on the cusp. Okay. Yes, their intercontinental ballistic missiles can only go so far, but imagine if they could add 3,000 more kilometers to those ICBMs. Then you're looking at nuclear devastation in New York City, okay? That's all he's got. It's always imagine.
Boston, Miami.
Imagine all the people.
Mar-a-Lago, okay?
He's like, we might, you know what it is really he's telling us? He's like, I'm Netanyahu, okay? I might come after New York City. We're talking false flags in New York City, Washington, D.C., Miami, maybe even Trump's house, Mar-a-Lago. He just threatened the president yet again. He's telling you the places that he's willing to BOMB in case shit really does hit the fan. But he's saying Iran would do this. It's completely batshit insane. For one, we completely encircle Iran. We being the United States, we completely encircle Iran in the Middle East. We have nukes first strike advantage against Iran. Iran is in the dragon's teeth. Everything that Netanyahu is claiming that Iran is capable of doing to the United States is precisely what Israel and the United States is capable of doing to Iran right now. Not 3 months from now, not 6 months from now, not a year from now. I think, brace for the incoming false flag. Satan's back is against the wall. These are the most depraved sociopaths in the world on a macro scale. They commandeer a standing army and state power, and they have the nuclear codes. Yeah, Sasha, Iran is building the Death Star. I'm sure that Milikowski would love for us to believe that too. Complete farce. But yeah, I think what he's trying to tell us is that Israel might do this to us.
So that is a very great danger. You don't want to be under the nuclear gun of these people who are not necessarily rational and who chant death to America.
All right, so Nagar, what can you tell us what Haaretz and Citizen Lab uncovered here when it comes to this AstroTurf operation?
Sure, right. And just to give some background, what we saw is Benjamin Netanyahu basically trying to manufacture consent for a U.S. war on Iran.
That's his stated, number one core objective and role in the world is he's the war salesman. He's there to sell war. That's it.
Something he's been trying to do for over 20 years. Very publicly, he's talked about it in U.S. Congress, behind the scenes. He's been trying to push a sort of boots on the ground regime change type war that the U.S. did in Iraq, also in Iran. The problem is the American public is not supportive of another regime change, big war, endless war in the Middle East. And also one big question people, Americans and other...
I do, Alex, yes.
...ask is, what if the regime falls? What's next? What's the day after?
I also remember Charlie Kirk saying, look, we in the younger generation, we remember 9/11 and Operation Iraqi Freedom. We remember that there were lies told about WMDs in Iraq and Saddam Hussein. And so, we're a little skittish when we're talking about getting thrown into a war with Iran, dear Mr. Prime Minister. And I pointed out to all of you here that he's talking to the person that is instrumental and pivotal in dragging the United States into a war with Iraq and a war in the Middle East in 2003. So I don't know if Charlie Kirk was just, softly suggesting this, knowing what he's implying here, or if he was really that retarded that he didn't understand that the thing that he's bringing up is actually what the person he's talking to was their complete fabrication.
I think the Israelis have found in Reza Pahlavi sort of the product or that answer for the day after. This is the person for the day after. This is the seemingly democratic, Western dressing, well-suited and well-spoken person with good English that you want to be ruling Iran. The problem is the Iranians don't really think that. And so that brings us to sort of these disinformation, astroturf, AI-generated fake campaigns. This is actually something that's been going on for years since the first Trump term, and many of us Iran watchers have been observing these massive, massive operations online. The problem is it's very hard to get evidence to actually connect them to the Israeli government because they cover up the tracks really well. So this is one of the few, and it's not the first one, but this is one of the few investigative reports that actually shows the evidence, connects. I believe Haaretz has insiders who have leaked some of this information to them, their investigative board, and Citizen Lab has really dug deep and looked at some of these accounts that were posting content. And I think one thing that maybe tipped off Citizen Lab and really made this disturbing is that these accounts were posting content that was prepared seemingly with knowledge that the Israelis are going, what the Israeli army is going to do in Iran, specifically the bombing of the Evin prison in Tehran. So videos that had been produced, fake videos of the bombing of the prison, were put out very quickly after the actual prison was bombed. And the Citizen Lab sort of conclusion is that this couldn't have been done by an entity who didn't have knowledge. So this is probably an entity, a contractor, whoever is paid by the government, who also had very intimate knowledge and relationship with the IDF and their operations, which makes it so much more disturbing because so many prisoners and also civilians died in that bombing of the prison.
Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe to the page to help it grow. And if you'd like to support my work, join my Patreon for exclusive content.